Oh, at least it's.
Should we have some now?
Use it, sure.
Just check.
The kids go over there to the state.
Although nobody's saying anything, so I
I-
don't hear anything, so let me just talk.
I've never owned a skateboard.
No, no sound,
All right.
Good, how are you?
Good.
although it is on.
That's you.
Okay, we've
Why
got it
is the
now.
high school called that?
Okay,
Oh,
it's just a little behind, okay. Okay, I'd like to call the March 26th regular meeting of council to order at 6:01. Before going any further, our Mayor Stan Potton had a previous commitment that prior to being acclaimed as mayor, he is hoping to join us by about 6:15. I would like to start the meeting with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the town of Winnipeg Beach is located on First Nations Treaty 1 territory, the traditional territory and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene people, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. We expect the treaties made on these territories. We dedicate ourselves to move forward with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration to make Manitoba an inclusive and accessible place for everyone who lives here. I would also like to, before we move forward with the meeting of council, I would like to remind everyone in the gallery to refrain from conversations or other behaviors which may be disruptive to council proceedings. That stands remote, it's not gonna work on mine. Be it resolved that the agenda for the March 26th regular meeting of council be approved as per the following additions. 11.1 Deputy Mayor Appointment, 11.2 Bylaw Enforcement Contracts Review, 11.3 Animal Control Services Review, and in-camera legal. Could I get a mover? Councillor Jarvis, could I get a seconder? Councillor Hall. I would like to also add an additional request on behalf of Councillor Jarvis and myself, and that would be MSO training as a result of our exit interview with our interim CAO. Councillor?
Yeah, I have two additions. That 15.1.1 be moved out of in-camera to out-of-camera. And also addition in-camera, councillors and the public receive answers to their questions within a reasonable time.
Okay, so you are asking for a personnel matter to go in camera?
Are they personnel matters?
The second one is the personnel, well,
Councillors and the
okay,
public
so,
receive answers.
okay, if you could tell me what, there are 3 criteria for in-camera. What criteria does your request fall under in order for it to be an in-camera discussion?
No, I don't care if it goes in-camera or out-of-camera.
Okay, well,
It can stay
Councillor
out-of-camera.
Kozlowski, you asked for it in camera, so
Right.
I'm asking you, under what criteria for in-camera are you asking something to be placed on the in-camera agenda for?
And what are the stipulations for it?
Well, we have discussed this several times. Contracts in initial discussion,
Staffing.
personnel issues, and legal.
Yeah,
So you are asking to add an item under what?
okay, so out-of-camera.
So you are asking, so what is it that you're wanting to add?
Councillors and the public receive answers to their questions within a reasonable time.
And you don't feel that's a personnel matter?
Well, I just said it was personnel matter, and you're telling me to take it out of.
No, you didn't. You asked for it in camera.
camera.
I asked for you to identify which of the 3 in-camera issues your request falls under.
What was the other one? Staffing?
Personnel, legal, and matters in initial,
I don't know if it would fall under legal or not. Probably not. So let's say out of camera.
so you
Place
want
it out
it,
of camera.
okay. This has been discussed out of camera multiple times. You want it on the agenda again?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask that we look at these additions and deletions separately and vote on them separately then, because as the fact that that has been discussed multiple times, I'm not sure whether all of council wants to bring it up again. So we'll start with all in favor of adding the items 11.1, 11.2, and 11.3 as read and should be on your agenda. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Those will be added. Deputy Mayor appointment, bylaw enforcement, contract review, animal control services, and legal. There was an additional request to add MSO training as a result of the exit interview with the interim CAO. Could I get a mover, please? Could I get a seconder? All in favor? Carried. We have a request to move something out of camera that is in there because it is in the preliminary discussions. But there has been a request by Councillor Kozlowski to take it out of camera. It does meet one of the criteria. Could I get a mover? Could I get a seconder? All in favor of moving preliminary discussions out of camera? Opposed? That will not be added to the agenda. There has been a request to add an agenda item, which is the period in time in which councillors' requests and the public's requests for information be addressed. Could I get a mover? Could I get a Councillor Holt, Councillor Jarvis? All in favor of adding that to the agenda? Opposed? It's carried. Do I need to do another overall approval of the agenda? Ready?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we have a delegation request. And the delegation request is by, just 1 second. This is slow. It's just opening it up. Is it a manager? Jamie Taylor? Okay, Tara, do you need to stay there? If you do, I can have her address from there. Thank you. You want to just pull your chair up, Jamie? Thank you. Before we get started, first of all, thank you for bringing forward your subject matter. So there is one person speaking on this and one person only. You will be given 10 minutes a maximum of 10 minutes to discuss what you've brought forward to council, which will be followed by 5 minutes of council if there's any questions, and then that will be the end of it. There's not an opportunity. It's a delegation, it's not a public hearing, so there is no opportunity for others to ask questions or anything. So thank you again for coming, and go ahead, Jamie.
Hello, I'm Jamie Taylor. My family and I have been Winnipeg Beach residents for just a little over 6 years. I'm the owner and operator of Sitting Pretty Pet Spa. I'm here today to pitch you on the idea of moving the skate park from the parking lot of Park Place Grocery Store to Mr. Moore Park, which will allow for expansion. There are a few problems with the current skate park and its location. It's in a hazardous location. It's next to Park Place parking and beach parking. It's near Pizza Plate, and it's customers who are parked down Stitt Street there all evening, coming, going. In order to get to the washrooms, the kids have to, with their equipment, try to navigate through all of the traffic coming and going. It is in the way of prime parking during the busy season. Many visitors can't find parking as it is. Some people park all along those train tracks, and in order for kids on the other side of Winnipeg Beach, they have to come through all of that traffic to be able to get to the skate park. None of them drive, and all of them are using their scooters, their skateboards, or their bicycles. More than one occasion, my child has had close calls coming to downtown Winnipeg Beach. And that is unacceptable as a parent, as a grandparent, and as a community. We should be looking out for our children. Instead of smooth concrete, the concrete is a pebbled concrete. So instead, when they fall, instead of getting a little bit of road rash, we go to the hospital. We get stitches and we get glue every single time. It damages the equipment. I spend hundreds of dollars a season on tires and tires and tires. And solely because the pebbly concrete chews away at the wheels of their equipment. Many of the more skillful skaters won't use the skate park because of the because it's not a complete smooth surface. We go to Winnipeg quite frequently for competitions and clinics, and the Winnipeg Beach location will never be one of those options, solely because of the size of the skate park and the material that was used to build it. There's no room for expansion or for parking for the adults that do use the skate park in the evenings with their children. In the summer, many parents, including myself, drive to Gimli, Selkirk at least twice a week to bring the kids to either Gimli or Selkirk or Winnipeg, where we spend all of our hard-earned money on pizza and drinks, and when we could be using that money here. The local kids can't get to the skate parks in Gimli or Selkirk or any of the other locations because they don't have vehicles. Mr. Moore Park offers solutions to all of these problems. It is in a safe location. It's in a park away from lots of traffic. There's lots of space for outdoor fun and community engagement. There's lots of parking. In a parking lot that is a safe but short distance away, the kids don't have to cross the busy highway where there is no walkway for them to safely pass the highway. They don't have to go through traffic to get to the washrooms, as there is one located in the park, the porta potty. If we move it to Mr. Moore Park, we can put in a proper concrete base, which is safer to use, won't wreck the user's equipment, and more likely for people to hold clinics and competitions at the new location. There's lots of room for expansion. There's a large unused field. A larger skate park can bring in competitions and clinics. A new park and expansion will get our kids outside and physically active again. It will attract people from surrounding towns. So not only from Winnipeg Beach, but Matlock, Camarno, all of those areas there. A plan can be in place for expansion over a number of years. I have emailed Dave Jones from Park and Play Designs to look into creating a plan/quote and to answer some questions, like if bases need to be there before expansion plans, and like what this place requires. They can also help with grants. Most of the park that we have now can be moved with a skid steer. The garden boxes can be moved. In 2023, a fundraiser was held. So 2 years ago, it was known from the community that Mr. Moore Park needed to be upgraded. Now that it is spring, this is the best time to start talking about parks. Whoever currently maintains Mr. Moore Park will find it just as easy to maintain the next additions. Last year, my kids spent days sweeping up glass out of the current location by themselves with their own broom and their own dustpan before they would actually use the skate park. That is what our teenagers are doing. They're taking care of the space that they enjoy to use and want a expanded and bigger space to be able to use. I have talked to people in the community who have said and seen that there are so many kids in that skate park in the summer that they can't even actually skate because there is no seating. There is nowhere for them to go other than to sit on the places that the kids are skating on. And that's all I got.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from council on this? No?
Good.
Okay, I'd like to thank you for bringing this to our attention and bringing it forward. And as we move forward with our recreation planning, we will certainly take your presentation this evening into consideration.
Thank you.
Okay. I am now going to turn the meeting back over. We're good, Stanley. The mayor has arrived and the public hearing has been finished.
Oh, did you want to just stop and talk there?
You're correct. Sure, I don't know if your number. You can look me up. Okay.
Give it to Tara, please.
Okay, 1 second. That's better. No, she's got your card. That's even better. Thank you.
Nothing serious.
We resume? Keep going?
Keep going out.
Keep going?
Yes,
She's
good.
coming.
Yeah.
Okay?
Second.
Now let me just get your page.
I probably never had them in order.
No, Jody puts this one.
So look at all the folks.
Yep, that's exactly where we are.
Good to see you. Sorry for being late. I was doing a thing. Is this yours? So where was we at?
We are at the confirmation of minutes. The delegation has been convened. So we're
Stand
going
right
to-
right there. That's why I had those flipped.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so that's your next resolution.
So that's it?
Yeah,
There's one is resolution 5?
yeah, the resolution is right there.
Okay, agenda item 6, resolution for resolve, be it here, be resolved, the minutes of March 12th, 2025 regular meeting be approved as circulated. I'll move it. That's Mr. Larry. Seconder? Barry, thank you. Oh, everybody in thing?
Discussion. Yeah.
Everybody agrees?
Carrie, yeah, all good.
So let's go, oh, just upside down.
So you'll just call to question and ask.
Oh, we gotta vote on that. I'm sorry. Call the question?
No.
All in favor?
What?
Yeah, you
Oh,
said
all in favor? I never
Yeah, all
said
in
that?
favor.
Oh, I just said call the question.
There we go.
Thank you.
And then I'll get you to sign.
There's gonna be a few snags, folks.
Perfect. Okay.
Last one. Agenda item 7.1, accounts payable. Be it hereby resolved that the council approves the accounts payable listing being check number 24121 to 24144, inclusive of checks, electronic payments, and payroll issued in an amount of $85,210.58. Any questions? Oh, mover, sorry. I'm never gonna. Thank you, Doug. Seconder? There, thank you. Any questions or concerns? Okay,
Yeah, check number 24137. blacked out. See what the counselors names at the bottom.
Any items blacked out will have
Personnel.
expenditures towards personnel.
For personnel.
Yeah, that's why it's redacted.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just make a comment on that, Jody? Just for clarification, some of you might have noticed there's a 24137 under the accounts payable, which is what I was looking at when Councilor Kozlowski first said it. And then there's a repetition of numbers under payroll. So if you are addressing something, if you could just specify whether it's accounts payable or a redacted item, then we'll know where to go in the list. But that's why there's 3 different types of payments. There's accounts payable, there's the electronic payments, and then there's payroll. And the way the system is set up, unfortunately, each cell that payments come out of have their own set of numbers, and they all started at 1, so you're gonna see duplication of numbers. You may see the same number for an accounts payable as you will for a payroll. And that's why I was looking up further at 24137, Councilor Kozlowski, when you mentioned it, and it wasn't redacted, and then I realized that, so that's why you'll see a duplication of numbers, yeah, okay?
Thank you for
But it is
clarifying.
a separate cost.
It is, yeah, it's like there's 3 cells of payments, accounts payables, electronic payments, and payroll, yeah.
Everybody in favor? Aha, I knew that one. So that's it for the questions, that's it. I get a mover?
No, it's not.
Oh, you don't need a mover, Phil?
You already have the mover. You called a question and then
Oh, you're
all
correct,
carried,
yeah.
all opposed,
So, all in favor?
Carried.
carried.
You already said, so I don't have to.
Yes, you can do the next one.
I'll say carried this one because I forget the next one too. Don't worry, folks, I'll have her down pat by the 10th round. Agenda item 8.1 bylaw 01-2025- zoning amendment first reading. Have a mover. Oh,
Gotta read it.
I shoot. I'm supposed to swear. Be resolved that the council of the town of Winnipeg Beach hereby gives first reading to zoning amendment bylaw number 01-2025. Any questions? Is that okay?
No.
Mover.
Oh, okay. Mover, please. Oh, thanks, Bear. Seconder? Bear? I got you straight around here, Doug. Any questions? Yep.
And just clarification, this is to move it from a single homes to multiple homes.
That's what I'm aware of, but I don't know what kind of
Correct.
multiple homes.
Yes, that is correct. This is to change our zoning bylaw, the use of the land from single residential family zone to residential multifamily zone. There is no specification as to the number of units, just the land use is what we're approving. This is step 1 in a phase of multiple steps in the planning process.
I have a question. So this is just step 1, that isn't giving them permission to build.
Correct. This is just to give first reading to amend our zoning bylaw. Following this, there will be a public hearing and mailouts, and then once that has occurred, then there will be second and third reading if council so chooses to proceed.
Everybody good?
All in favor?
Call for the vote. Oh, no, there's no vote now, it's a resolution.
No, you had it right.
Oh,
Call for
did
a
it?
vote.
Okay.
All right.
All those in
I'm just
favor?
swearing up. Yep. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you.
You have to say the vote word.
Carried.
There we go.
I was holding it off because you thought I forgot, but I actually didn't. So I
Are
think
we doing a first and second reading, or?
Just first reading
Just
at
the
this
first
meeting.
Agenda item 9.1, 2023 audited financial statement. Be hereby resolved that council approve the consolidated financial statement for the year ended December 31st, 2023 as presented by Reed and Miller, I'm not sure what it says. Is it Miller? Miller. Chartered Professional Accountants. Mover, please. I got it right this time, Stubbs. Second. Third. Now we can call for the question.
Discussion.
Pardon?
Discussion.
Oh, I swear. Discussion, please.
No, good.
Everybody's cool?
I'm good. You're good?
Yep.
Yeah, you can call the question.
All in favor?
I'll call a question. Oh, shoot, all in favor.
All in favor? Carried.
So it was, actually, I wasn't as rattled before I got here. Carrie. If you could change your name to Carrie, I'd have that. Agenda item 9.2, organizational bylaw 02/2023, Schedule A review. Do I have a mover for this? Oh, I never read the rest. Be resolved that Schedule A committee appointments to organizational bylaw 02/2023 be hereby amended as presented. Is this my one? Thank you. I had his hand up already. Mover.
Okay, sorry, I didn't catch.
Yeah.
Who moved?
Doug, I
Doug,
moved.
thank you.
Then
Barry
Barry.
second.
Okay, and Barry, thank you.
I see his hand up, so I thought we were good.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Yeah, I just couldn't figure something out this time. Hey, discussion, actually, I remember that. And all in favor?
We're gonna leave it the way it is?
So
Oh,
this
I'm so
So
sorry.
item,
you're gonna assume, I'll go question, you're gonna assume the ex-mayor's positions on Schedule A? Recreation, the ex-mayor was the chairperson for that? These are on the committees. Or are we gonna talk about the committees? I'm cool with where I am,
I see what you mean, I should have said something differently.
yeah. But I think we need to at least, because we had discussed previously that we would do this when we had a new mayor.
Just a
Jean.
question.
Pardon?
Just a question. It's my understanding that, I thought we had a communications committee, which was the
Yes, we
mayor,
did. I was
councillors,
with the ex-mayor.
and it's not on here. It's not,
Yeah, but I don't think it was ever on there.
probably should be on there as a standing.
We had changed the organizational bylaw though in late 2023.
Yeah.
And it might have been removed at that point in time.
I'm wondering if I could give up economic development and be on communication with Councillor Jarvis.
It's up to you folks.
you tell me, let me just
Well,
confirm that there is a communications.
Or why don't we just?
We've got transportation,
Well, why don't we just start at
Works.
the beginning and go public works and we'll work down?
yeah, I've got public works, transportation, utility, recreation, public safety, development, finance, and personnel.
Yeah, these are the standing committees.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna eliminate something.
Well, yeah, that's why we're in discussion. Do,
We'll have to appoint council members to the
Replace the
committees
ex-mayor.
as they stand. If we want to discuss changing the structure of the committees,
Yeah,
that will have to be a bylaw amendment.
yeah, I think we have to keep the standing committees. I think we discussed the external committees, that some of them might
Okay.
be, but I think now you were also looking up, so are we gonna have the new Mayor Potten replace the ex-mayor on these committees? And if so, I can back up, Councillor Gendron would have to be the chair of the communications because the ex-mayor was the chair on that. Because I was always the member at large.
Okay.
Are we gonna go, and I'm just sticking with that because of the standing committees and if,
It's not, the problem is, it's not listed.
Yeah,
Right,
there,
she was
there
looking
is
that up.
not, there isn't one
There
currently
isn't one.
listed in the bylaw. So if
So,
you,
it's not
We-
listed in the bylaw.
so we would need a resolution.
No, we would need a whole, right now, if I'm understanding correctly, the discussion is filling these vacancies that were made by the mayor. At this point, we cannot make any changes to the standing committees of council, and we cannot make any changes to the external committees / boards. That would be a bylaw change.
Right.
So, right now, all we are looking at is what, so as Councillor Jarvis posed to Mayor Potton, is Mayor Potton just going to be taking over any spots that Mayor Jackson previously filled?
I would like to pick mine, and I have a question to ask, all right?
Sure.
Do we need all these committees? Like, is there some that nobody goes to or nobody wants to be on?
Well, people,
Yeah, sorry, the standing committees have to stand.
yes, the
They have to
standing
stand. So you're
committees.
talking, there's two different committees. You have the standing ones, and then you have the external committees. So what you're talking about, and I agree, there's some of those external committees that probably are redundant. However,
That's what I'm thinking.
right, but the standing committees like Public Works, Recreation, Public Safety, they have to stand. And as
should be without-
addressed by
Yeah.
Councillor Gendron, let's at least talk about those, and why don't we get you, if it's okay with you, to fill in the spots that the ex-mayor used to have.
Okay, so what did she have?
You have Schedule A on your computer.
Come to life.
I can read them out if you want. Public Works chairperson was Barry Hool, and the member at large was
Hold a second.
Ex-Mayor
I'm here
Jackson.
to write this down on.
Do you want to look at mine?
Yeah, scoot over and look at Jody's.
And there's only two.
So,
There's only two in the standing committees.
so you said Public Works, right?
Public Works and the ex-mayor you would fill the member position because Councillor Hool is the chairperson for that. And then in Recreation, you would be the chairperson and Councillor Hool would be the member. And that's the standing committees, and then, as mentioned by Councillor Gendron, we would have to revisit the bylaw to bring back the, because I'm pretty sure it was eliminated when we reviewed that thing.
Who was
well,
this?
actually, as mentioned by our soon-to-be CAO, I was just reiterating what her comment was.
Yeah, that would be correct though. We would have to do a bylaw.
Right, because I'm pretty
amendment
sure we changed
If you would like to bring that back.
And then,
Who's the chair on it?
on which one?
On Recreation?
You are now,
Yeah, it was the previous mayor.
and Councillor Hool is the member. And it's the other way around for Public Works. Councillor Hool is
Yeah,
the
I
chair.
got those
Yeah,
ones right,
okay.
yeah. So Public Works, I'm good with that. Do we, if you're on a committee, is it just a committee? That's it? No say what you can do, no nothing, you're just on the committee to bring information?
Yeah.
You're on the committee and within the organizational bylaw, it sets out what the responsibilities of that committee are.
And how often do these meet?
It is called on based on committee members.
Okay. Yeah, sure, it's gonna be filled.
And then, so just to confirm, Mayor Potton will be the member on the Public Works, Transportation and Utilities Standing Committee. The Recreation Standing Committee, will you also be
Chairperson.
chairperson on that committee?
It's Public Works, Transportation, and what else is there?
And Utilities, it's one
Okay.
committee. And then Recreation is another committee of council that the mayor previously sat on as chairperson.
Okay. So like this is once a month, every 2 weeks?
Whenever the committee
Yeah,
decides
it's
to
just
call.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's easier to say infrequent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what else we got sticking up there?
That is it for standing committees of council. The mayor sat on as a representative for the Eastern Interlake Planning District Board.
And if I may just comment on that as the other member, they are anxious, that is one where there is 2 representatives from each community, so they are anxious to get a second member on there. That meets, Mayor Plotton, that meets the first Thursday of every month on a rotational basis between Winnipeg Beach, Gimli, Bifrost, and Norfolk.
Let me change it around.
They change it, Nancy looks after all of that, and it's on a rotational basis. If there's something significant on the agenda for a community, she may change up the rotation a little bit so that the meeting is held in the community where the issue is.
And did you say every week?
No, first Thursday of every
First
month.
Thursday. I didn't get any of that right. So do we have a say on this board? We can vote, or it is there to listen?
No, there are things that are voted on.
I don't know,
Yeah,
not all
yeah.
committees are like that.
Yeah, there's
That's why I
things that are
asked.
voted on, yeah.
So,
I guess I vote for me to do it.
okay, you're okay.
Resolution, agenda?
We'll keep going.
Sure.
The East Interlake Watershed District, the mayor sat on as the second representative. Councillor Gendron is also a representative on the Watershed District. So,
I'm writing this out, but you're gonna give me a sheet of it
yep,
anyway, right?
I will provide a consolidated report or a schedule with the name change as long as you are okay with joining that committee.
Sure.
There is the Historical Society Committee, as well as the IERHA Winnipeg Beach appointee, and the Interlake Municipal Rec Association.
Just a comment on the IERHA, that's still being done virtually, so that limits needing to actually physically go anywhere. For the most part, for those, they're done. You get an invitation to join the Skype meeting. Just so that Mayor Plotton's aware of that.
And how often is that one?
A couple months, like it's not often, it's not it's not often.
And where is that coming out of Selkirk?
No, it's virtual.
I know, but is it,
I'm not sure actually where they're from because it's been virtual the whole time I've been sitting on it. I wasn't a part of it prior to COVID. I think it's coming out of Gimli, I think. I'm not 100% sure because it's just virtual and it's everybody there.
is anybody else interested in it?
In what, the health association?
Yeah. And if you're not, I'll do it, but I'm working on something.
Well, and I don't know if we necessarily, like,
It's an
we don't
appointment.
necessarily need 2 people sitting in on the meeting, so.
No, I meant anybody else.
No, I'm just
Willing to
saying,
change.
I don't know if we necessarily need 2 people sitting in on a meeting. It's not, it's an information only. So for example, when there was the concern about the PSW workers going out on strike, they were giving information and the calls were more frequent. So it's really information only. It's
And
not a decision, you're not making decisions, you're not voting on things, it's strictly information.
Okay? And then, but if there's any more, somebody else is gonna have to jump in here pretty soon.
And the Historical Committee,
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to pass.
okay.
I have a question. Gene, you're sitting on a couple of these, right?
Yeah.
And to back up what you just said, like you're cool just being by
The
yourself?
I raised EIPD because they do definitely
Yeah,
want
okay,
two
and I guess to
representatives.
help the stand along is that some of them are just appointees, so you don't even get to vote. And I hear what you're saying, but some of these we need to represent the town because we have, we make donations to them or,
Or we're asking them for money.
yeah, or we're asking them. So on those boards, we want representation. And I agree with Councillor Gender, I don't think somebody, like, we don't need two people on the Historical Society.
It's more,
I'm good.
it's more as a backup, so you can flip our names if you'd like on the Historical Society. And are you okay to be a backup if I'm not available? So
Yep.
that's, okay. So you can flip the order then if the name's on the Historical Society, that's fine.
Yeah, because I don't have any backups for me. On the three that I'm on, I don't have backups. Because there's no sense. I'm on the Futures Board and the Weed Control Board now. It's just me that goes to it.
Yeah, and if you're not able to make a meeting.
I
you
just say,
can-
hey, in the
just-
meeting, I can't go to this.
Is there anybody that can
Yeah.
go, or, yeah.
The Interlake Municipal Rec Association had two representatives, the mayor and Councillor Hall.
You okay by yourself?
Yep.
You're okay to?
Yep.
Yep.
Tourism Association. Larry, you okay with that?
Sure. That's the tourism?
Yep.
Yeah, your tourism.
And if Mayor Potter wants us to be a rep also. No problem.
You bet.
Okay.
Okay, the Women's Resource Center.
Yes, the Interlake Women's Resource Center, the mayor previously sat on.
How many other committees everybody else got? Sort of try to even them out.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, I'm cool with mine.
So you're on 4, hey, Gene? Oh, representative, 5, 6, 7.
No, well, okay, so on the right-hand side, EIPD is a definite. Well, we're gonna flip the Historical Society, and the IERHA is just, I mean, that's virtual meetings, so that's not a big deal. And then Red River Basin, I'm very involved in. The Harbor Authority is minimal, almost non-existent, and then the Curling Club.
And we still have to solve the Women's Resource Center too. Or is that,
It's actually no longer the Women's Resource Center.
Peter and all of them.
Yeah, it is no longer the Women's Resource Center. I believe it is now the Family Resource Center. in Gilman.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll update that name.
So you were just saying, I'm not in it now, was it the Marina Club?
No, Gene's on the Harbor Authority.
The Harbor Authority.
Is that here or is that in?
Yeah,
No, it's our marina here. There's a Harbor Authority that fishes out of that harbor.
and in fairness, Stan, some of these boards are once a year, like the weed board's twice a year for me. Like they're not that frequent. We don't do an awful lot of weed control in January.
Frost does it for us.
That was a joke. No weed control in January.
So where are we with that one?
The Interlake, what was the new
I
name of
believe it's
it?
the Family Resource Center.
The Family Resource Center, thank you, Councillor Gendron. We'll need to appoint a representative for that.
Any idea what time they hold these meetings?
I believe they are during the day. And Councillor Holt, do you wanna, we can go 1, 2 evening meetings you're able to make? Day
Yep.
meetings, I'll do?
Yep.
Okay? Okay. Because we're gonna need to make sure somebody's there with our talks about this building and everything so that we can sort of just keep up on what's going on with them. Thank you.
Okay, that covers all of the boards that the mayor sits on. Was there any other changes?
Not good.
Very good. Okay, so just to read through it one last time. Public Works, Transportation and Utilities, chairperson will be Councillor Houle, member will be Mayor Potten. Recreation, chairperson will be Mayor Potten, member Councillor Houle. I won't read through the remaining public safety because there are no changes. There's no changes to development. There's no changes to finance and personnel. The Eastern Interlake Planning District, Mayor Potten will be sitting on, and Councillor Gendron. East Interlake Watershed District will be Councillor Gendron and Mayor Potten. The Historical Society Committee will have Councillor Gendron listed as first representative and Mayor Potten listed as second. The IERHA Winnipeg Beach appointee will be Mayor Potten and Councillor Gendron. The Interlake Municipal Rec Association will be Councillor Houle. Interlake Tourism Association will be Councillor Kozlowski and Mayor Potten. The Interlake Women's Resource Center,
Family Center.
Families, thank you, will be Councillor Houle and Councillor Gendron, and the remaining boards all will stay the same. Okay?
That was for this one here.
For the agenda item 9.2.
I've got them upside down here. That should be finished. Oh, maybe it's underneath my badge. Thank you.
There we
I wouldn't
go.
have found that. Everybody's good? Call for the question? All those in favor? Everybody?
Carried.
This makes it easy. Oh, this should be, this is 10-1 we wanted next, right?
Yep.
Item 10.1, strategic plan. Be resolved that council approve the draft Winnipeg Beach strategic plan as prepared by GovFox. Mover, they're ahead of me, so it's good. Doug, seconder. Call for the question, or any discussion, sorry.
Yeah, so,
Oh, sorry, I was-
no, that's okay. So I'm just wondering if our soon-to-be appointed CEO can just sort of let us know what next steps for this will be.
Absolutely. So once the strategic plan has been approved, we'll be sending off for final copies of that, which we'll get nice bound versions to have in the office and to provide council to update your strategic planning binder. Following that, council can discuss developing a more detailed operational plan, which will integrate the strategic plan and initiatives going forward, as well as consider all aspects of the strategic plan when making decisions going forward.
We're good?
Yeah.
I'm good.
All in favor? Carried. Got that one right, eh? So 10.2, tax sale agreement. Be it hereby resolved that the interim chief administrative officer be authorized to sign the agreement of payment for payment of tax arrears for roll numbers 2300 and 4200. Moves. Come on, let's go to the second. Seconder.
Any questions?
Discussion.
I'm good with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why this, is this what we do usually with all the businesses or homes in this area that go up for tax arrears?
Yes, so once a property has entered tax sale proceedings, they do have the ability to enter into a tax sale agreement with the town of Winnipeg Beach if, for whatever reason, they want to do a payment plan. We do not put forward any agreements if they have defaulted, so this would be eligible for an agreement if council so chooses.
Pretty much standard.
Sorry, you said would be eligible?
Yeah, it is eligible.
It's pretty much standard.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is
When you
standard
fire for
process.
chapter.
Sorry, so the, okay, sorry, okay.
And
So,
I thought it was well written, whoever wrote that. Very well written. Like covers everything.
Everybody's good? Call for the question?
I think it covers everything.
All in favor? Good. One vote. Carried. Just make sure it's very well. Agenda item 10.3 Hudson Bay Road Association Membership 2025. Be it resolved that council approve membership of the Hudson Bay Road Association in an amount of $300. Mover. Seconder. Any discussion? Yeah.
I think it's a pretty cool idea, but I'd be more interested to see what they're doing. It is a federal port that we're talking about, what we're doing with the federal government, and there should be at least 3, possibly 4 provincial governments involved in this. I understand the concept to raise funds, but I would like to see that we've completely, and I mean completely exhausted all provincial and federal funding and grants for this. Like 300 isn't a lot of money, but it's still, I mean, we're trying to develop a port, and I'm 100% behind it. But what have they done right now? I'd like to see more of what they've done, even with the Alberta government. You want to move grain out of Western Canada, then let's get the Churchill Port going. And let's get 4 levels of government involved. So before I would commit to something like that, I want to see exactly what they've exhausted, what avenues they've locked down, and who they're talking to.
That makes sense to me. It's like, you're right, it's only $300. But what's it do? $300 in a mission that size?
And $300 won't get you a guy to load the boat. You know what I mean? So it's like we can do that for Save the Lake, and we can get $5 off of every citizen. But when you get 67 million out of the federal government, you know what I mean? Let's not nickel and dime this. Let's go right to. It is a federal port. It's a port authority.
Yeah,
So
I'm for it, but.
I'm for it 100%.
So, but
It's a gateway out of here for the grain.
So, you gonna move it?
What we gonna move her?
Oh, I already got it,
Yeah.
actually.
All in favor?
All in favor?
$300?
Yeah,
No, no.
yeah, I'll be able to.
So then you
It
say
still carries
opposed.
though, 3 to 0.
So then you'll say opposed.
Oh,
Opposed.
it's down.
Yeah, so you have to say opposed.
Oh, I
and then-
did,
and then you-
opposed.
And then you
Yeah.
Oh, I did, but
Yeah.
we got to get it wrong.
Yeah, and then it would be carried because you have a majority.
You're not babysitting me through this whole thing. Next time, hope not. Agenda item 10.4, work alone policy 2025-4. Whereas the town of Winnipeg Beach Health and Safety Committee has reviewed and recommended approval of work alone policy 2025-4, therefore hereby be resolved that council approve policy 2025/4, being the work alone policy for the town of Winnipeg Beach. So most of the tongue twister. Mover? Seconder? I'm looking this way. Discussion on this?
Gene.
Oh,
I would just like
I'm gonna
to,
change my chair
I would
this
just
way.
like to thank Councillor Jarvis for the work he's putting on this, along with the other members of the Health and Safety Committee. It's been a long process because of the sensitivity of the issue, and glad that he, along with staff, have been able to come up with a policy that certainly looks like we are prioritizing the importance of our staff when it comes to working alone. We're a small community that can happen fairly frequently. So nice to see that there's something now in place that staff can follow and feel that them working alone is a priority of this council, because their safety certainly is.
I agree with you. That's a job well done, folks. Wait,
One more.
Sorry,
Um,
what do you want to?
The only thing that, and we've talked about this in the meeting, that we gotta have some way of posting some sort of a schedule, like when it is one person, because it does mention 2 spots, that they have the option to lock the door, but if there's no programs available, then we need to post it, you know, the next time the rec center will be open on Wednesday at 10 a.m. or whatever. Because there's no, people come up to the door and then they pull and stuff, you know.
Yeah, so it'll be up to managers to
Right.
implement the work alone policy.
Yeah. Yeah, and we see that, when you go to certain offices, they'll say that, you know, the schedule is there when they're there, and then say this office will reopen on Wednesday at 10 a.m. So,
That could be a separate initiative that
right,
we
because,
look at.
it says even when there's only one person working, regardless of the rec manager, is that the doors will be locked, so, and
Correct.
we appreciate that,
Yes.
and that's it.
Are there not kids in there every day?
No,
My understanding is the 7 and 8 go there every day around 12:30 to 1:30, something like that, those kind of hours.
So if there's no programs or anything in there, are those doors gonna be locked?
yes,
The kids
Yeah.
aren't allowed in?
yeah. It says, be aware of the surrounding potential hazard, okay. Doorbell installed in camera system is gonna be put in, and doors are to be locked when only one employee is working, and when there's no programs, it will be locked. So if there's nobody coming to the rec center, then the rec center will be locked. And that's what I'm saying, is to say, you know, reopen on Thursday at 2, if there's a kids skating program. But if it's closed as from 2 o'clock on Tuesday, then just put the sign up, we'll reopen it and give the date that you're next there. And a lot of businesses do that now because they're short-staffed. So, but it does, if there's no programs, then the door's locked.
So
If there's
maybe-
only one person, if there's 2 people, the doors are left open.
Yeah, so maybe there should be a note sent out to the schools.
So this would be a separate matter that we can go into further. We're just looking at the policy at this point. Implementation and what that will look like will come further in further discussions.
Yeah, because there was still stuff that we discussed at the.
Correct. There will be implementation, training and establishing, once this policy has been approved by council, at the manager level.
But we have a policy,
Correct.
and we didn't have one before.
Yes.
All in favor? Carried. Well, Jody, you got one thing covered. 10.5, Council Computer Reimbursement Policy 2025/05. It hereby resolved that council approve policy 2025/05 being the council computer reimbursement policy for the town of Winnipeg Beach. Got a mover there? Seconder? Discussion?
Was this not covered in our indemnity bylaw?
No, this was not covered in the indemnity bylaw, and upon administrative review, this has just been a process that we've been doing over time. That being said, there has been no established policy
Okay.
or resolution on this matter, which is why the policy has been prepared for council.
Okay, thanks, Julie.
You're welcome.
The only thing that under software that it doesn't include is, call it malware or whatever, when you Norton any of those, Bitdefender. Like even the basic one's $69, but you have to update that, and it doesn't appear that it's covered on that. And I think,
Antivirus software.
yeah, antivirus software should be in there
Yeah.
as a expense.
Yeah, if you'd like to change that, we absolutely
I think it
can.
needs to be added to it.
Yeah, when we had that issue,
Okay.
and there was discussion at the table, I guess it was never formalized, but it was suggested by the CEO at that time that it be an over and above because of what happened. And just for anyone's listening, there was nothing major happened, there was no breach, there was nothing missing. It was just something that we had to get looked at. But yeah, it was discussed at that time that, so if that could be added to this,
Antivirus software.
and then so then we would vote on it at the next meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
make the
recommend
change.
tabling this
Tabling
item so that administration can prepare an updated policy with that change. And then we can bring it back as a full document.
Call for the vote.
Table, carry it.
Table,
Table, all in favor.
favor to
Oh,
table.
okay, sorry. All in favor? It's pretty easy. I thought I had that one figured out. Oh, no. Where was this one? Council computer reimbursement policy.
Nope.
Oh, we've done that.
Sign authority.
10.6.
Sign authority, 2025. And what? Oh, it should be under your, yeah, there it is. 10.6, sign authority. Be it resolved that Mayor Stan Potton and Finance Clerk Angela Shindak, I'm saying that right, be appointed as sign authority for the town of Winnipeg Beach accounts with the Access Credit Union. Be it further resolved that Doug Jarvis and Tara Antonchow be removed from the sign authority effective March 31st, 2025. Get a mover? Seconder? Discussion? Oh,
Friday is Tara's actual last physical day. I'm just wondering if perhaps we should be changing that date to Friday as opposed to Monday.
Yeah, we can do that. So the resolution will now read effective March 28th,
Correct.
if we're okay with that, which would be this Friday.
I'm good with you.
Yeah, okay, no.
You got another one, that's fine.
No, I was panicking thinking, well, wait, isn't Doug my backup for signing checks? But no, now Mayor Potton will be.
Yes.
All in favor? This is too easy, except I can't read it right. Third. Oh, there is no one?
One has not been prepared at this point.
Yeah, that's right. 11.1, Deputy Mayor Appointment. Bylaw 02-2023, Organizational. And there's no paper for it.
So a direction of council will be required to proceed with this item, as there is no provisions within the organizational bylaw to appoint a deputy mayor outside of the first meeting of the year. So administration will require a resolution of council to provide direction on this matter.
So we go forward. So I'm supposed to appoint, right?
Make a recommendation.
Yeah, council can.
Okay, I would rather counselors, I'm new here. I don't know how everybody works good together. Let the counselors appoint. Oh, there, so.
Yeah, I'll recommend Barry Wolf for deputy mayor.
I'm okay with it.
You gonna accept that?
If council agrees, sure.
Perfect. Any discussion?
Okay, let me prepare a resolution. Okay, so the drafted resolution reads, be it resolved that council appoint Councillor Poole as deputy mayor for the town of Winnipeg Beach. Is that sufficient wording?
Just have a question, does it not still have to be on the mayor? Well, we've discussed it, is it not on the mayor's recommendation?
There are no provisions within the bylaw.
Oh, okay, so
So
it doesn't
it is
need
a
to state
decision
that?
of
Okay,
council.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mover. Yeah, with it?
Okay,
Oh,
so,
I got it covered here.
yeah, I'll document it here, so I've got
Yeah, because I
Councillor
don't have the
Jim Brown.
resolution.
Yeah, I'll print that off for you
I
following.
couldn't find it.
Seconder,
Seconder? Deb?
Councillor Jarvis. Then you can call to question.
All in favor?
Carried.
I shouldn't have voted.
Why shouldn't we vote?
Because I was leaving it to everybody to leave it.
Okay, next item. This one also does not have a resolution.
So you've got all that already? For
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I have that recorded for 11.1.
So we're 11.2. By law enforcement contracts. Is one of these here? Nope.
So just to touch base on this, a report was prepared for council with regards to the bylaw enforcement contracts. There is, of the two contractors that we currently have, one is ending April 30th of 2025. So in order to proceed, council will need to direct administration on how to proceed with bylaw services and the level of service that council would like to see tendered, if they so choose to tender it.
So that's gonna be a resolution, or we're just talking?
At this point, it's just a discussion.
Okay. Oh, yeah, discussion.
I'd like to see it tendered.
Would we like to continue with the same amount of hours as previously done?
If my memory serves me correctly, those hours were based on doing the full job. If, like, I'm in agreement of us continuing to have the separate contract for unsightly. I think, as was discussed, it just works better and it's, but I think we need to take a look at the hours for the bylaw officer, because it was including unsightly at the time, or, yeah, I think it's better we take a look at the hours, take some time to look at the hours before it goes out to tender. I agree it needs to go out to tender. I agree with Councillor Hall, but I think we need to take a look at the hours. And whether or not we need to maintain those hours. Are they enough hours? Because of things that have changed within the community. So just that piece probably could be looked at.
I think we should look at job description and what we expect he or she to do. And then you're gonna have to, once you get the job description, then you have to figure your hours out from what you expect of them. That's my view.
Does council want to meet as a committee to draft this information?
Would that fall under a safety committee? For preparation and then come back to council with it as opposed to all of council?
Public safety?
Public safety?
You could submit stuff to me. Like I understand what the mayor's saying. I mean, it's pretty, his contractor B is overgrown grass, noise complaints, parking enforcement, boardwalk days. You know, it's pretty clear on description if you're looking at expectations. If that's the word we might want to use, is what we expect from this, which would correlate to the number of hours. I think that the description's always been good. I think that the level of expectation, I'm not going to suggest it hasn't been that, is that maybe we expect something different from what is actually, as you described, been described. You know, like,
Yeah, I agree with you. But if we're doing this parking thing, I'll just speak about that.
Pardon?
So that's gonna be a whole new ball of wax and more hours.
what are you talking about, parking enforcement? Like,
Yes.
and I mean, I hear you.
Yeah.
You know, I've been a proponent of that since the beginning, but we're a dog with no teeth. We can't, there's no enforcement. You can put as many tickets out there as you want. Nothing's gonna happen until we change that.
And that will have to be considered after, as the legislation is not in place currently. So we can't
No.
include it in
I'll get
something that.
Councillor Hool and Councillor Gender on they have, or at least I think have a little more knowledge on it than I do, but until we change that legislation, we can hand out, everybody could have a parking pad and just start handing them out, but
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty easy fix. Let's change the legislation.
I don't think it was that easy.
No, there's nothing easy about it. So what if we look at not including parking? Because right now, we know that including parking, it has no teeth right now.
Yeah,
And
But everything
that
else is
perhaps it, that we can include something to indicate hours may expand once parking bylaws have been decided.
I agree with your hours thing. I think that's something we need to look at. I think maybe that's what the mayor is trying to apply too, is that we're, like, and I've said it before, you know, we're sending a guy around to look for problems at 9:30 in the morning, and the problems don't happen until 10 o'clock at night. Do you know what I mean? So we need to have some sort of a schedule. So, yeah, while he's home watching the national news, you know, people are having fun on the pier.
Well, and I don't think there has been a schedule. It's been,
Right.
this is the number of hours you can put in the week, and it's been worked around whatever is.
So I think both of yours
Individual
coincide with each
availability.
other, expectations as opposed to description, and hours of operation. When do we want to enforce this? And if we separate parking from it, then we need to address, and again, I don't know, I'm familiar with the procedure we have to do, but that's a mountain to overcome.
So what's so hard about getting it passed so that we can charge for tickets?
We need to have it through the provincial court system. So we need to put in an
Yeah,
appeal.
it's it's, yeah,
But there's many, many communities that haven't.
But they've done the work, they've done the heavy lifting. So whether, hey, I hear you, I'm on it. Yeah,
So,
like,
I'm not trying to argue, just if.
I'm on your team on that
Let's
one.
do it, there's no use paying a guy to walk around and look at cars.
Well, it's just, it's throwing good money after bad money. If you can't do anything, then don't pay the guy to go hand out tickets that have no effect. You
Well,
know,
of
like,
course, I agree with
Yeah.
that 100%. So if we're gonna do this, let's go through what we've got.
yeah, let's do it. And maybe Councillor Gendron was right, separate parking from it right now, give it to the commissionaires that we're using, or at least another person. You can even hire a meter maid, for that matter, to hand out dummy tickets, but let's do it as fast as
Or
possible.
we can have another bylaw officer, and we don't need the commissioners for that because they charge quite a bit an hour.
Well, the bottom line being, there is no point in spending money to have anybody issue tickets that we have no teeth in collecting.
Exactly. That's my
So
point.
that's why I'm saying,
Let's get-
let's take it off of the, and,
Address the
Mayor
hours somewhere
Cotton?
else.
we have a whole lot of information that we will be able to, we all sat here and thought the same thing. Well, why don't we just do it? We came to learn after many hours of parking meetings, well, we all thought it was that simple. Unfortunately, it's not. And so until we make a decision as a council on what we want to do with parking, there is no point in surging ahead and doing
I
the work with the
agree with
province.
you, but it's not that simple. A lot of things aren't. If we want to go that way, we have to go that way. If we don't want to go that way.
Absolutely, but we haven't made a decision yet on what way we want to go. And that's,
Yeah, the expression is, it's simple, and it's always gonna be simple, but it's just not easy. But it's a simple solution, it's just hard to get
So
it
if we
done.
want to go that way, let's vote for it. If we don't, let's vote against
Well,
it.
then, I agree with Councillor Gendron, separate it from the thing right now,
take
let's
the
address
parking
it.
bill. Because this expires at the end of April. We do
Correct.
not
Right.
have time to be
Good.
making parking decisions before this getting out to tender for the end of April.
And as three of us have discussed right now, we're handing out a parking ticket that they go. And we're paying a guy to do that, put that on your windshield at $42 an hour.
Well, it's, I mean, it's got to have some teeth or what I do.
I hear you.
So we have to make that decision.
Well, right now, we can't make a decision on the parking, other than,
No,
are we all
I
in
think going
favor of
forward-
removing the parking from the role of the bylaw officer?
I mean, going forward, so we have the,
that is a separate matter that we will discuss. Right now, we just need to be looking at the scope of services and the service delivery of bylaw enforcement.
okay,
So if we're all in agreement, we'll remove parking enforcement to the scope of services. If everyone's good with that?
can we put a note in our motion in there that let's start looking at it in the next month or 2 months? or
Table it to
something?
another meeting,
And get it,
table parking to another meeting.
yeah, but we can table it lots, not
Well,
arguing,
put
but
it
we
to another
table
meeting.
lots, but we've got to make a decision. That's
Well, I'm not
why-
tabling permanently, just table it to another meeting, like the next,
Okay,
whatever one you want. Pick a meeting.
sounds good to me.
And the hours, that would affect the hours too. If
Absolutely.
he's not handing out parking tickets, then we can redirect those hours into other areas. So we need to look at hours as well.
Yep, that is listed currently under service delivery, page 2 of the report.
Yeah, I got it.
Would council like to maintain those levels of hours?
What's your hours at?
He's giving,
Currently, for the period of May 15th to October 15th, 5 hours on each Friday and 5 hours on each Saturday. And from the same period of time, May 15th to October 15th, a total of 10 hours Sunday to Thursday.
5 days.
Correct. So in a
2 hours
week,
a day.
in a week it is 20 hours.
and he gets 15 additional hours during July and August. per week.
Correct. And additional hours
On
required
boardwalk
during
days.
boardwalk days. And the remaining part of the year, I believe, is on an admin.
So, but do we want to also include something as to when those hours occur?
Yeah,
Or do we want to be general and state, I mean, it may determine on who applies for it and who doesn't. If we can be more specific now, or when it goes out, then we may get somebody interested in it who's available for what we say, as opposed to somebody who applies for it and then says, well, no, I'm not working from midnight till 2 watching your peers.
Oh, sorry.
can we suggest when we tender it that we will talk about the schedule, like keep the hours, we'll say we will confirm schedule with each tender? Can we do something like that?
Or ours will be, how about schedule will be established with 5 days or 10 days in the month for the upcoming month. So by the
Yeah,
20th
like-
of every, or let's say by the 20th of every month, they'll have their schedule for the
For the
following
next
month. Yeah,
Actually, that's not a bad
or the
idea.
15th of the month, so that.
They have to provide us with a schedule.
No, we control
Oh,
it. We
so-
provide them with the
So
schedule.
we can provide them with a schedule, what if it doesn't coincide with the crime? Like you've gotta be a little lenient to the guy to get up at 2 in the morning and come out and
Yeah,
fix some problems, right? So if you want quality people, it's gonna cost us a bit more money. If you, I'm not saying quality so much, but yeah, good people. And if you're gonna have real low hours, you're gonna have people that are just a part-time job. Now, this isn't a full-time job, but you gotta make it attractive to them instead of just getting up at 2 to handle drugs.
right now, I think it's about a $42,000 contract, is it not?
That's for the season, like the year?
Yeah, so you can call it a full-time job or a
20.
part-time job.
No, it's
24.
20.
Yeah, but that's only 24 for the whole year?
Annual cost for
Okay,
contract.
20,300.
Is 20,300 for a
24,575.
part-time job.
Yeah, so that's a,
Does that include the indemnities also? Or no?
payment structure.
Yeah.
No, he gets a vehicle allowance as well.
Vacation,
7,500 a month.
So 7 times 4, 2,800 plus.
7,500 a month.
750, sorry,
5 times
750.
Okay, let's see.
Let me just correct
He's
this.
driving a
Hang
Lamborghini.
on.
Yeah, 750 a month, car allowance.
Okay, change law, let's turn back to our. 17,500.
Let's figure somehow between 30 and 40 hours. That's a 7-day-a-week gig. So if you take 30 hours, that's not many hours a day. Makes sense?
But we've removed derelict buildings and we're removing parking. I'm not sure how that would justify increasing the hours that much.
Yeah, we're taking 2 sections
We're
out.
taking 2 sections out. I just think by taking those 2 sections out, but leaving the hours as is, I think we're going to get the more enforcement and in the times that we thought we needed it.
Okay, so we're taking derelict buildings up.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Who's looking after them?
commissionaires.
commissioners,
What do they cost? $42 an hour.
yeah.
So why don't we give that to the bylaw officers?
Because the commissioners come with a level of legal authority to be able to go on property and act, and they have a different level of provincial knowledge when it comes to, Jody, you're shaking your head in agreeing, yeah, they have a different level of knowledge and authority within the
Resources.
province to act.
So could we not get a person that can do that?
Well, we don't need a person to do that if we've removed, there was a few reasons why we went to the commissioners. One of them, it's very less intimidating for the individual when it's not somebody from the community that they're dealing with.
More professional.
More professional. Taken more seriously. They are very knowledgeable in the sort of the rules and regulations that follow going the extra steps with unsightly property.
So if commissioners come out, is it 2 at a time or what?
I have no
No
idea.
idea. Their total cost in 2024 was $5,748. And I'll say one thing, they resolved some situations that have been going on here for 10 years. And in a month and a half, it was fixed.
Well, we keep taking things away, and what I'm hearing is we don't need a bylaw officer.
Well, we
We
still
have
need a
plenty of
bylaw
other
officer,
things,
that's why
yeah.
we're reviewing it.
If we have, probably have other things, let's just figure out a decent wage and keep one that'll work for us.
We do have a contract with commissioners that does not
Expires in
extend
full.
until March 31st of 2026, so we will
So,
have
no,
the
I understand everybody wants to keep commissioners, so that's fine, but if you wanna keep good people, you gotta pay them some money. And if you don't,
This
well, you don't.
isn't a case of keeping the people, this is a case of the contract expired and we have to put it out again. We've had the same bylaw officer at least 2 contracts in a row, so this is not a case of we're not paying enough to keep the people. It's over and we need to put it out again.
And if
Yeah, we're tendering.
Well, then let's decide, what do you wanna do? Do you wanna vote on it? Do you wanna table it? Do you wanna? There's no use-
administration
there's no
is
use
looking
us
for
going
some
around in
direction.
circles.
administration needs direction on how many hours are going to be within the tender, if that is the direction that council wishes to choose, so that there is opportunity for contractors to put costs in at the rate. So,
Well, from July and August, he's got 25 hours a week for just July and August, but then there's additional hours, and I have no idea what that is for boardwalk days. And bearing in mind that the Wonder Show supplies their own security, and as mentioned in the previous meeting, RCMP's here as well as Conservation's here on boardwalk days.
So he does 25 hours a week, but he works in 4 other municipalities, so he doesn't need much for hours.
Well, that's not the issue at the moment, the issue is the contract, you're talking about a specific individual. There's nothing to say that that individual is going to be successful again. So we need to determine what we want in this contract, nothing to do with the current person that has
Well,
it.
so far I've come up between 30 and 40 hours, and I've never heard any other ones. Like, I'm throwing something out there, you folks throw something out there.
Well, he's 25 hours a week, yeah, he's 25 hours a week right now, through July and August.
So I know that we had some issues with needing to juggle things. I'm fine with keeping the hours the way they are, knowing that we have taken away the parking and the unsightly buildings, which will give us some more flexibility on what to do with those hours when they're needed. The additional hours required during boardwalk days is a presence because he's in uniform. And to me, it's somebody out there on the boardwalk that if somebody's got a problem, they can approach the bylaw officer and say, hey, what do I do with this? Where is this? The Wonder Show's security may not be as familiar with where everything is in this town, whereas the bylaw officer will be. And yeah, it's a little bit excessive tourism help, but you know, it's somebody that individuals would recognize and be able to go to with questions. So there's my thought, keep the hours as is, and it'll give us some flexibility to make up for those times that we felt we could use more service from our bylaw officer.
My thought is we could get somebody else and put authoritative clothes on, except for the Bulletproof Vest that's illegal that you can't use. Besides that, we can dress everybody else up with authority too. It's not a big deal. We took away parking, we took away, what else was it?
Unsightly buildings.
Unsightly buildings. So now do they have, Commissioner, I know we're gonna be driving everybody crazy, going back in circles.
His biggest things that I've ever seen is grass and noise. And then there's peer issues, et cetera, parties that aren't supposed to be there, and fireworks. And really that consumes a lot of his time, and frankly, justifiably. There's a lot of parties that go on, and then he's forced there in different hours to do that, so. And then the grass complaints.
I take it we're not allowed to say personal experiences from this because.
I wouldn't do that, but.
Okay, that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking.
So, I mean, but we are talking about going to tender. So if we have 4 or 5 people apply, then we have an opportunity now to look at it and to construct it the way we want it to be
Okay, let's
constructed.
put it to tender, but the tender's gotta be the same for everyone.
Obviously, yeah.
I mean, they can't come and say, well, I can work Monday, Tuesday, I can't Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, that's what we're talking about, yeah.
This is the thing, we gotta figure that out.
But, and you mentioned it before, if he goes on patrol every day at 5 o'clock on a Friday, then they'll just commit the crimes at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah,
There's somebody that'll come out of
Yeah, so we have to have some sort of, as mentioned by Councillor Shandro, we have to have some input into that,
Absolutely.
where we want it.
So what are we doing? We putting this off to another meeting, or are we going?
We don't have
So, if I may,
Yes,
I
you
would
may.
suggest that you determine roughly hours per month from January to May 14th. And then the hours per month, May 15th May 15th to October 15th, which will be elevated due to the seasonal traffic. And then set an average hours from October 16th to December 31st. When we get into deliverables, which would be, you know, the public presence, the times, that can be worked out in the agreement, but this is at least broad enough that we can put it to tender.
The other thing, if I recall correctly, is we put it out and they came back with a bid on what they wanted for salary.
Yeah, that would be how this process would work.
Good, that's,
So, does that work for everyone to determine roughly monthly hourly range?
monthly hourly rate, or weekly?
Sorry,
The number of hours
monthly, yeah, monthly hourly range,
worked.
yeah.
A minimum of 120 hours a month. 40 times 30, that's 30 hours a week.
30
4
hours
times
a
30,
week
sorry.
for the high period from May 15th to October 15th?
Oh, yeah, the busier time, yeah.
I have one more question too.
Or do you want to break it down into a month?
Oh, and between October and 16, and then May, he gets an hourly rate of 26 point, or decimal 66 dollars per hour. Now, at no point in time, is this an on-call? It doesn't indicate any sort of an hourly structure there.
Councillor Jarvis, it goes out, the person bidding on it gives us the salary they want. So all this is doing is breaking down what we've been paying on the
Well,
current.
yeah.
That's what our current bylaw officer came to
Oh.
us to say,
Mm-hmm.
I will take these hours, this is what I will charge you to perform that work. So while that is what's showing as the hourly rate, Jody already confirmed it will be going out the same way.
Oh, no, I know that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't indicate if he has a schedule. That's what I'm looking at. He's got an hourly rate listed, which is different from the summer months, but there's no schedule attached.
And
to
that's
it.
why I had said earlier that it include that council will determine the
The
schedule
hours.
in consultation with, administration, not council. Administration will determine the hours, and on the 15th of every
Yeah,
month.
I understand.
Yeah, yeah.
I just
So
wanna make
can
sure
that be
we're clear.
included? Or does that need to be included, or is that something that would be done during discussions after?
That would be done during negotiations.
Okay.
We just need to provide a broad scope of roughly.
So you would
say,
leave that paragraph in as it reads right now? Go to contractor B,
The hours,
page 1, I guess. Page 1 at the bottom, contractor B.
the hourly wage.
Yeah, see where it says hourly rate, yeah, but
Yeah.
again, this is what Councillor Gendron is talking about, is that we would determine the hours for that person. And it's, some weeks it might be 3, some it might be 5.
So the hourly wage would be above and beyond the hours allocated per month in the agreement.
Again, I'm not worried about the rate, it's just that it doesn't
Yeah.
indicate any sort of a schedule.
So that's what we need to establish.
Right, that's why I'm in agreement with Councillor Gendron, if we set when we go to tender on it, if somebody asks, and that's to say, well, this is a schedule that we want. I can live with that.
I was looking for a resolution. You have anything?
I don't have a resolution prepared.
That's all right, because I couldn't find it. What the heck?
Yeah.
So Jody, just to,
I need,
yeah. We need to determine, are we okay with these hours that are listed here?
I am.
Or do we need to change? I'm of the opinion that given what we've taken away, we'll make up for the times that we thought we were short
I'm fine
by
with it.
and that these hours would work. Agreed? Agreed?
I'm agreed.
Agreed?
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Okay.
Okay, should we be providing rough hours outside of the current, like, right now, it's just a set fee for
That's what Gene was talking
services
about, we would determine the hour, the schedule.
outside?
Yeah, for the October to May period.
Okay, okay.
That's what you were talking about, right?
Well, we can do it the whole year. We can do it the whole
No,
year.
I like the summer the way it is, that's a lot of work in there.
I'm sorry, Councillor Jarvis, can you repeat what you said? I must have misunderstood what you were saying.
I was in agreement with the October to May, October, November, December, January, we set a schedule on that, but in the summer, I thought we'd agreed that the 25 hours a week, because we had dropped the parking and
Yeah.
dropped the unsightly buildings,
Yeah.
that he would just he would designate the extra hours into noise complaints, into peer.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes. Yep, yep, okay.
I have one question, nothing to do with that, but sorry, the commissioners, they have the authority to go into a building and condemn it?
Yes, they do. They have to bring it to council, and then it has to go to town hall, if I remember correctly. But that's a different discussion. Yeah.
Well, we're paying commissioners to do part of this, I thought that was part of this discussion.
Well, the unsightly building, it's a whole bylaw by itself. So example being, if you have a car that's parked in your front lawn and you don't want it there, these are the people you call. So they get rid of the car.
So if we have a building falling down, we can call them and...
That's a derelict building, that's not an unsightly property. You're right, they're one and the same,
Yeah.
but a derelict building under the bylaw is different than an unsightly property.
Yeah, but can they
Yeah, if I
do
got
something?
goats on my front lawn, that's an unsightly property.
If you have a roof caving, can they do something about that?
I think so they can, I believe they can.
Good.
So. But you're right, just put that on the next agenda.
Their contract's not up till March 31st, 2026, so I don't know why it would be.
I'm not looking to renegotiate, just so that we have it for discussion. Because if it is in their contract and they should be doing it, then we can get them to do it. I'll look at it.
So, I've drafted a resolution that says, be it resolved, council direct administration to prepare a tender for bylaw enforcement services with the following parameters. And then I copied and pasted, the wording of, the hours that are on page 2. So during the period May 15th to October 15th, 5 hours on each Friday and 5 hours on each Saturday. During the period of May 15th to October 15th, a total of 10 hours, Sunday to Thursday, and during the month of July and August, 15 additional hours per week as required, and additional hours required during boardwalk days. Am I missing?
Is that 25 hours except
Anything?
before boardwalk, which is another...
Whatever you want.
Yeah, boardwalk days is separate. Is that okay for wording with everyone?
Sure.
Okay,
Anything to change or added or deleted or... Sounds good.
okay. Do you wanna get a mover?
Sure.
Who are we gonna write down? You tell me who to write down.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Larry's mover.
Okay.
Jean's seconder.
Okay.
Mr. Hepburn, I'm gonna write this down. Yeah. Call a question. All in favor of this thing? Four? Four. Correspondence.
11.3.
11-3?
Yeah.
Oh, that's still up on that one. Animal control services, okay. How did I get the hell down there?
So just to recap the report, animal control service contract is ending April 30th, 2025. There is a provision within the current agreement that it shall be renewable with or without amendments on or before the 15th day of April 2025 at the agreement of both parties. So a resolution of council is required to direct administration on how to proceed with animal control services, whether you wish to renew or any other options.
I was looking for the resolution.
No, it's just a report at this point. If council wishes to do a resolution, I can prepare one.
What's everybody think? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. There are things to do with animal control that are requirements, and we're not necessarily all up on what those are. I know this has been an issue multiple times. We are in a bit of a time crunch for April 30th. I would like to suggest we do a 3-month extension so that we have some time for administration to get us some information and we have a good understanding of what our responsibilities are as a community when it comes to animal control, and then we look at how we want to proceed once we have that information, is my suggestion.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm okay with it. I think though, if you're advertising for animal control, that they would have that stuff in place.
Well, and that's why I'm suggesting we just do a 3-month extension, offer a 3-month extension, so it will be to the end of July, so that we are understanding what the provincial regulations are as far as our responsibilities. Do we need to go through all of this? What are we required to do? Because that has come up multiple times. Either we're required to do it or it was in the contract. So that we can take a look and see, okay, do we need, are we on, I hate to use this term, but overkill with our animal control? Can we scale back on what we're doing, or are we required to, everything that we're doing, are we required to do it? And it just buys administration some time to get some stuff together for us, and some time for us to make a sound decision moving forward.
How many dogs and cats does you catch in the middle of the week?
Well, we're supposed to, one thing, and sorry to interrupt, but we're supposed to get reports, and it says right in the actual contract that we don't get reports.
So, yeah.
And we've been on this since time immemorial.
And so that's some of the stuff we could look at, but I just think,
And there is a resolution in front of the AMM regarding provincial support on this,
yeah,
correct?
yeah, but
So
what, you
the
know,
extension would provide an opportunity to find out whether they've even done it.
things don't move that quickly
I know.
between the AMM and the province, and often when they're reporting on successes to us with the province, the things that came up 3 years earlier or 2 years
I
earlier.
know, because the
So-
province has legislations that is outdated.
But I think it's better that we get a better
Yeah.
understanding too, especially if we're gonna sign a new contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, I said, I'm
So
cool
the
with it.
parameters
So
to be
you're in agreement
included.
with the 3-month extension, and then, yeah,
So we have a contract with him and he's supposed to report to us what he catches, correct?
Yeah, there's,
But he doesn't.
well, no, that's not true, it's not he doesn't.
Going by what
he's rather infrequent. With somewhat Daryl.
We do get, they're attached to the agenda when they come in, and I believe reporting is monthly. not every meeting. And
Yeah, it's supposed to be monthly.
So we do get them every month.
No, not the way we want them. But that might be us.
And this is all conversation we can have when we're looking at the information.
I had it here.
Well, the way I think, I guess I'm from a different work world. If you don't fulfill your obligations by handing in the paperwork, that's all. If everybody's bent over backwards and happy with the person.
Well,
That's
in fairness to the current agenda item, we are discussing what we're gonna do with the contract, not the current person who's holding it.
Yeah.
And so the suggestion has been made that we give a 3-month extension to buy us time to properly prepare ourselves and move forward with however we feel best as a council to move forward, having the information, because this keeps coming up at meetings. We are told there are provincial regulations that we're required to hold cats that have been trapped, and that's what we need to make a decision on right now, not whether
Yeah.
the current bylaw, animal control law.
I think it's safe to say that I've never been happy with this contract from day one. But again, it's a contract. And again, and I agree with the extension, but when we do it, we're gonna set the contract the way we want it. Because I've never been able to get what I wanted out of this thing, you know, from day one. But again, there is, finding out later, there's some provincial legislation that we're not the only one. Apparently, there's an awful lot of municipalities that have the same problem because the legislation is provincial.
How do we find that out?
We're in the process. It was brought up in the last, I wasn't at that one. And it was brought up that this is something that's rampant. I should say rampant, that's exaggerating. That other municipalities have the same concerns that we have. So we should probably look into what's being done about it. And we can write our own contract to have it in there. Like my thing is that I just take for granted that this is what, you tell me what you did, and I'm supposed to take that for granted, and I have problems with that. You know what I mean? Now you draw the reference maybe in a different work world. No, I think we're all from the same work world, every one of us here, because we've been asking this question since, again, forever. And I would like those answers.
I would like them too.
Yeah.
This isn't our money, this is the citizens' money.
Well, that's what we've been talking about.
Figure out.
We weren't, the unfortunate thing, and it's been expressed before, is that the contract, we didn't do the contract. The contract was here when we got here. So now we can make the contract better for whoever comes behind us.
So do we need 3 months to make up this?
We might, we never know. But like, I don't wanna,
Administration does need some time to prepare this report and go in depth. We are in the midst of budget season right now, and that is the top priority in the office we're executing right now.
So does 3 months work for you? Does 2 months work for you? We don't know what works for you.
Yeah, 3 months, we can make that work.
Okay, and then we can make a decision?
Well, we can,
yeah.
So,
we can understand the pieces that we're not necessarily understanding because we keep getting told, that there are provincial regulations, so.
Well, I've requested numerous times that I'd like to actually see the place, the facility, and that's never come to fruition, so.
And I don't know whether, well, we can talk about that, but, yeah.
Yeah, I just, again, I'm trying to wrap my head around a contract and I have no basis of, no foundation of what the contract really does. You know what I mean?
I've prepared a resolution that reads, be it resolved that council approve extending the animal control services contract for an additional 3 months, and be it further resolved that council direct administration to prepare a report reviewing the legislative requirements of animal control services for council to review.
With no more money, no increase in wages.
No, we haven't put the contract in there.
Yeah,
But what he's getting, if he says, "Do you want me 3 more months?" I want her $4 an hour.
It's just to review the legislative requirements. As for extension, it just says the agreement shall be renewable with or without amendments at the agreement of both parties. So if council approves 3 months, then administration can then execute. And if there is any anything that needs to come back to council for approval, then it shall.
Yeah, he's like $110 a week plus any impound fees. So,
And he has to agree with that, and
He
the
would have
wages
to
will
agree with
remain
that.
the same.
yeah, he's maintaining his
For 3
contract.
months.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll agree with it, because that's what you need.
We need,
Yeah, we do need to provide animal
Oh,
control services.
Not arguing that at all.
Yeah. So, is everyone okay with that, the wording
Oh.
of that? Okay. Do you want to get a mover?
Mover, please. Mr. Douglas.
And
Seconder, Mr. Larry. All in favor? Yes, ma'am. I got nowhere to write. It's on the right on it.
Yes, sorry, I'll get those printed.
That's all right.
So not listed on the agenda printed, but was added, during agenda approval was item 11.4 MSO training.
Oh, it wasn't?
It was not
Oh, okay.
previously, yeah, this
It's
was,
not on here.
this was an addition that was approved earlier.
I got nothing, so I can't see nothing.
Okay, so Councillor Jarvis and I wanted this added on to the agenda. This afternoon, we did an exit interview with our interim CAO, and there was some discussion about
some issues came up.
some issues, and
We need them clarified.
and it was thought that the best way to approach it was, and the interim CEO agreed, was to ask administration to arrange for an MSO to come in to provide training for all of council, since we're in a group at the table, on the difference between governance and management. So we are asking that there be a resolution and council can vote on it and make their comments, that administration be directed to arrange training with an MSO on
Clarify some issues.
Clarify-
Answer
well,
answer some questions and clarify issues.
and as they relate to governance and management.
So we can't talk about nothing else? If
You
they
talk about anything you
see
want.
us, why don't they, let's clean her up, that's what's on our minds.
Well,
Well, that's what's on our minds,
Okay.
and if that's just it, why can't we talk a whole bunch?
Well, I don't know if I'm
Okay.
qualified, like, there, some things came up in the exit interview, and I don't know if I'm qualified enough. I've only been here 2.5 years to really, I could go through the book, I guess, but, I just wanna make sure I got somebody that, I've always wanted the right answer. I don't wanna just make up answers, so,
That's what I'm saying, I'm
Yeah.
not talking about the accident, can we talk about other things with this MSO?
sure, why not?
okay, hold on a second. Doug, our discussion was to ensure that there was training by an MSO on governance and the difference between governance and management.
Got
So,
it, yeah.
and then, after that, if there's other discussion that council
at her.
wishes to have with the MSO,
Have at it.
that have at her, but as a result of the exit interview, it was MSO training on governance and management.
Yeah, it would be wrong to have her, or him, whoever it is, come out, and then you have questions, and they go home. You know what I mean? Like, if they're here, you might as well use them. And if we have concerns or questions or points to discuss, then they're there. That's why I want the person here, because I don't think I'm qualified to, well, I should say not qualified, I just want to make sure I have the right answer. I've always wanted the right answer, so.
Nothing wrong with that.
So then Jody, if I could read the training followed by a Q&A session with all of council. And then
Yeah.
that way other things.
So then they know it's not, yeah.
Yeah, so I've drafted, be it resolved that council direct administration to arrange for council training with an MSO for the difference between governance and management and all other matters as requested by council. Would that suffice?
That's fine. Anybody else? Good.
Okay, that's good.
No.
We need to-
Based on our discussion and our commitment to Tara, it needs to be that training. And then if you could say, like, it's not a training session, then followed by question and answer for all of council with the MSO. Okay?
Okay.
Which is kind of the same thing, it's just.
Training as a result of an exit interview, something like that.
So I'm gonna do, be it resolved that council direct administration to arrange for council training with an MSO for the difference between governance and management, and be it further resolved that,
There will be a question and answer,
um,
a Q&A after.
there will be opportunity for council to ask additional questions. We're good with that? Okay.
Listen,
We need to
Yeah,
move it.
yes, please.
a maneuver.
Maneuver. I'll do it. Let me maneuver.
Who would like to move it?
I'll maneuver.
Hey,
Barry's got a second maneuver.
Yeah,
you're gonna be the second mover?
you got it.
Did you get that?
You bet.
All in favor?
And then
All in favor? Yep.
Okay, and another addition to the agenda. I just labeled it as response to public. So,
Yeah, questions to councillors and to the public. I feel that we need an answer within a couple of days, not 3 months, not 6 months down the road. As the previous, they stated that it would be put on a priority list. And with regards to that, I still wait for some more answers, and I'm sure some of the public will wait for their answers too. So I would like administration to supply us with an answer as soon as, not meaning 3 months down the road, not meaning 2 months down the road, within a week. So,
No, I was not good, no, I'm, oh, go ahead, you're right.
This is the third time now this has come up in a very short time, and the first 2 times this came up, the decision to the discussion was that we need to expect that our staff are managing their time, and they will be addressing things when it fits into their schedule and they prioritize it. At the time we said we do not want to be, it was discussed and I raised, why would we set a time limit? And then that's now the expectation regardless of what the issue is. And both times at the end of the discussion, it was deemed that staff should be able to manage their time. We're not micromanagers. So I'm a little surprised that it's now coming up for a third time in a very short period of time at this table.
again, the reason it's coming up again, I've been waiting 3 months for an answer. A councillor in this town that was elected by the townspeople, and I cannot get an answer. Either can the public to their questions.
Well,
Jody.
well, this is starting to turn into a personnel matter, and I'm not sure whether this conversation should continue in open discussion.
It's just the counselor asking him to get his paper. How is that a personal matter?
He is claiming that he has put in an inquiry and has been waiting 3 months. It's now running the risk of turning it into a personnel matter, Mayor Cotton, and I am just warning, we have had this happen before at meetings where things have slid into personnel matters that should not be discussed in an open forum.
Are you warning me?
I am not warning you, you're not the one who's speaking. I'm addressing you because it's my responsibility to address the chair during a meeting, not another member of council. So that's why I'm looking at you. You weren't the one speaking. I am suggesting that based on the comments that have been made, this is running the risk of turning into a personnel discussion. It has happened before at meetings, and care needs to be taken. But when an accusation is being made that a member of staff has not responded to something after 3 months, we're going down a slippery slope about something that should perhaps be discussed in camera.
Are we going down a slippery slope? Oh, you're our CEO. Are we going down a slippery slope?
You sure are.
Why is that?
I'm not discussing it in open meeting.
Okay, I will repeat.
Well, you don't have to repeat for me, thank you.
Well, you are
I'm
questioning
asking the
it.
CEO a question. Simple as that.
She has.
Because I know what the
She can answer for
implication
herself.
is. Because I know what the implication is, and it is an in-camera discussion.
Okay, well, hang around, let's have her in camera. Or can we do that?
Yeah, there's in-camera.
Okay, that's pretty easily modified.
Excuse me, it is not on the agenda. It was not added to the agenda. It will have to be an in-camera discussion at the next meeting.
When are you going to Calgary?
Sunday morning,
So
bright and
you'll be
early.
able to come back for it.
That's okay.
I'm not trying to nail anybody here, it's just
No, that's fine.
everything comes up with
Yeah.
problems and I don't know why anything can't be just figured out and talked out. So we're all in agreement, it's not coming up in the next meeting?
If it comes up at the next meeting, that's fine. I'll make sure that there's information to go with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
We're good? On this one?
okay. Oh, I don't have paper. Mover. Isn't that it?
That, we don't need a resolution to
sorry. I
put
didn't
that
know
on
that.
the next agenda. I have noted that.
That one wasn't on the number.
Yeah, because it was an addition.
Yeah. Which one are we at now?
We are at 12.
Hey, it was on there. Committee reports. No committee reports, it says.
Yep, none to report
So
on. No
that's-
committee reports to report on at this
That's
time.
good. So 12-1 are we going, or is my next one started 15-1? 12-1, Public Works Utility Report. Oh, I'm going down to here.
Go down to 13.
13.
Round table discussion. Any discussion?
Yeah, just,
Yeah, Larry's first.
I want to do a huge shout out first to Canada's Team Homan for capturing the gold at the Women's World Curling. And also to Katarina and Colton Lott for winning Canada's mixed doubles curling. And now they are on to the Worlds, so good luck.
So they've done that twice, correct?
Pardon me? Yeah, they did
They
it
did
also
twice,
last year.
last
Yeah,
and this year.
yeah, they lost out at the Worlds, and this year they're going back to the Worlds, and they were curling at it.
Oh,
I think for their
losing, they
younger-
did darn
younger
good
years.
there. Sorry, cut me off.
They're not actually going to the Worlds until 2026. The mixed doubles are a little bit different and you go the year after, so we've got lots of time to practice.
Are we doing something for those folks? I understand they grew up here and we're at the Pearl here.
Yeah, we did last year, we had a cake for them, we had some signage made up, I believe, and gave them a small donation, $200. So maybe we can do something around that.
Well, I think it would be a pretty nice gesture.
We did a sign. There
Sorry?
is a sign at the curling club that the town paid for.
Yeah, I know, I got that
Yeah.
pointed out to me the other night.
Can we put it on the highway board? Congratulations.
We could, except for that there's pertinent information up there that's time sensitive right now.
Just
So, I mean, could we direct administration to reach out to the curling club and just let them know that if they are planning on doing anything, we will do what we did last year, which is we will support it in some way?
Yeah.
By the donuts.
It's on the website too.
I shouldn't say Facebook website.
Huge update. Huge website.
just created a sub-item for that one to do a resolution. And then we can get to that, once we finish roundtable. If that works.
Sure. Well, I haven't been to any committees or anything. Oh, I've been working with Health Authority, can I say that? I think I didn't know if I was allowed. The Health Authority, IARHA contacted me again. We were working together on establishing two more nurse practitioners here. And I worked with them to get the first nurse practitioner 5 days a week, and then I worked with them to get doctor and nurse Saturday and Sunday for June, July, August, and September. So I was a contact person, I was just Stan. And so they contacted me again, and they want to know where we stand, because they never heard back from us in 2 years. And I wonder if we were still interested. So I said, I assume we are. So they asked me to get a hold of Wendy, which I did, and she's all for it. They're all for it. So we're standing in very good ground to get 2 new nurse practitioners here. Yep.
Who's us?
Who's us?
Sorry, you said they haven't heard from us in 2 years?
Us.
Actually, that's not accurate. There have been discussions with Sharon and the Health Authority with regard to that clinic.
That
And
fell off about a year and a half ago, and she never returned their emails.
Not going to get into an argument
I know,
with
but you
you,
started
Mayor
out here. We're not supposed to be
No, I'm not
talking
gonna
about
get-
this.
No, I'm just telling you that there were discussions brought to this table with
Okay.
regard to the Health Authority.
I'm
That's all.
talking to IRHA, they're telling me a different story, and I don't care. Do we want to go ahead with this and get this? But this is roundtable discussion, so apparently we can't do anything with this. I wanted to start a clinic committee, but I'm supposed to do it down the road. Well, now I don't know why. It's for the town. It's a pretty easy piece of thing. And oh, by the way, they pick up all the costs for that except the rent.
Except the what?
Except the rent. So I think that, oh, and by the way, I don't know if anybody's heard here, because I just heard it last week. Winnipeg Beach's clinic was the #1 clinic in Manitoba of all the municipalities. For support, for care, for looking after people, for being friendly, for being helpful. And they said they sent something out, but nice to hang up in their building. So it's doing a good thing. The people need it. The majority of people want it. Nobody gets to have a doctor and a nurse all summer, a full-time nurse practitioner, 2 nurse practitioners in training, and they want Andrea to train them. They've gone all through their schooling. They just have to work under a practical nurse for 6 months, and they can write their exam as nurses. And they would like her to keep doing that, and keep doing that, and keep doing that. So that's what
Are
I
you still working as a member of the community on that, or are you now working as a member of council?
Well, actually, that's a member of the community, because I was the contact from that first. So,
As the other council member on representative for IERHA, I would appreciate being listed and.
but it was just me. It wasn't a council, it wasn't a man.
So are you now stepping away as a member of the public, or are you turning this over to council?
Well, I've been told 2 different ways to do this, so I'm kind of confused. That's why I wanted to start a clinic.
Okay, but right now, in discussions that you're in, are you having those discussions as the mayor?
Stanley.
As a member of the public?
Yes, Stanley. So, and first of all, I didn't know you were a member on there, and if you were, why didn't you know anything about this? I mean, serious, like, I knew about it, and I'm just a guy out in the country that,
Because at this point, it's a management and administrative issue, not a council issue. It's on the council, once they deal with the administration.
okay. So someday I'm gonna ask if we can have a committee, clinic committee, because it's important for us, important for the town, it's important for the next council that comes in to be able to go forward with what we have.
So if you're discussing this as a member of the public, the member of public are not in a position to be discussing things with council during a council meeting.
I retract all my statements, take the last 10 minutes out. I don't know what to say. Sorry for discussing something our town needs.
I did not say that it wasn't something our town needs. I asked you if you were speaking as the mayor or a member of the public, and that we have told other members of the public that they are not able to speak at council meetings. So if you were speaking as a member of the public, that's not allowed at these meetings.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's next? Because I don't know where we're at all now.
Roundtable.
Still on our table.
Oh, there was mine. Can anybody top that one?
I haven't been anywhere or done anything. I do have a Selkirk Weed Control Board, or the, right.
This round table now. Can we talk about?
Gene River Basin, North Chapter meeting.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Because I like to put an offer or not.
Not at this point. Are you ready to move on?
Yeah, I haven't been on any committees. I don't know how everybody else feels.
Nope, that's fine. So we do have a resolution to approve,
Which one is this?
should be 13.2.
15-2, 15-1,
13.2,
Is this one?
correspondence.
and that one we just did.
No, 13.2.
What was the
Meeting
one
of our council
for?
approves the council committee board.
What is it?
That's what I think.
Oh, yeah, there was no resolution for the round table.
No, this
That's
covers the round table.
So this one's done, or we?
You have to read it. Now we have to do that stuff.
Agenda item 13.2, council committee and board reports approval. Be it hereby resolved that council approves the council committee and board reports as presented. You're ahead of me.
Yep, Bluebird.
Thanks. Seconder. Gene?
All in favor?
Yeah, I was just gonna say all in favor? Carried. Stand by.
And I do have a draft resolution here for curling support, just following the roundtable discussions. Be it resolved that council direct administration to contact the curling club to support initiatives for, and sorry, I didn't catch the, what the success was.
The mixed gold Canadian.
Yeah, they won the Canadian
Mixed curling.
curling. Well, it's been a lot.
And it was lot.
Yeah, OTT.
Can't be
Life goes on.
Okay, so be it resolved that council direct administration to contact the curling club to support initiatives for the mixed curling gold medal win or lot.
Yeah, mixed. Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
Next one.
Mixed double?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not a curler, in case you didn't notice. Okay,
Have a mover. Whatever, this is- Doug,
Doug, I'm Doug.
Thank you.
Everybody else is
Seconder.
taken.
Larry.
And then you can call the question.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, yeah, all in favor? I thought that's what we just did.
Okay, thank you.
15, one?
14.
I don't have one for that. Correspondence, municipal bulletin number 2025-6. I don't know.
Yeah, you have this, where is it?
Oh, there's another one under here.
That's the one that we're looking
14-1.
for. Yep.
Be it hereby resolved that the correspondence be accepted as circulated. Moved by. Second. Discussion. Questions?
Just want to draw attention to the request for directors for the West Shore Community Foundation. There is a memo on that. But I guess it's posted other places, correct? That they're looking for directors for the West Shore Community, and they do a lot of really good work.
Oh, I've
So
heard great things
anybody
about
who's
it, yeah.
watching, if they have time and they want to commit to the West Shore Foundation, please submit your resume to them. And do we want to talk about the fire truck? Road? Gene, you want to talk about that?
About the,
We were approved.
we talked about that at the last meeting.
Well, have a community, we have an actual
We have an official
letter,
letter.
an official letter here. I'll read it.
I was gonna say, go ahead, Councillor Jarvis.
Let me read it. Okay, I am pleased to inform you that your municipality has been approved to receive a funding contribution of up to $40,000 for the fire department fleet replacement project under the Manitoba Growth, Renewal, and Opportunity for Municipalities Program, brackets Manitoba Grow, administered by the Department of Municipal and Northern Relations, and I think that's really good.
Can't be a downside to it.
Pardon?
Can't be a downside to it.
I don't see a downside when they want to give you $40,000 to help you with your fire trucks. Hey, I'll take it. And I don't think there's anything else.
Nobody else? Oh, so
So
sorry.
can we knock some of the debenture off from that 40,000 for the fire truck that we purchased?
So this 40,000 is going towards the water rescue truck. That's what this grant was towards.
Do we have to match that or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's good though.
So we're getting, just so I'm clear, we're getting an $80,000 truck to pull load?
It'll be committed to 80,000.
It's up to,
Yeah.
it's not going to be.
Yeah, if it comes in at 59, they still
Yeah.
pay half. We don't have to, yeah,
Yeah.
it's up to 40,000.
Yeah.
So if we get out at 60 grand, then they give us 30 and we give 30.
Yeah.
So. Which is good as well.
It'll help.
Won't hurt, that's for sure.
That's all I have to read. I read two, read one.
I forgot.
Read the municipal bulletin.
If there's any other questions,
Any other questions?
we can call it a question.
Questions? We're good? Call for the vote.
All in favor?
I don't know how many more of these things I'm gonna find in the weed pile here.
One more.
15 more?
15 more, yep.
Well,
Oh, we gotta go.
we gotta go in camera. We gotta pass a resolution, go in camera.
Oh, this is just to go in.
Yeah. Suspend the
Okay,
regular
and
meeting.
further, or hereby resolved that council moves in camera at 8:20 or something, looks like.
821.
To discuss matters that are in the preliminary stages, be it further resolved that any matters discussed while in camera be held confidential until such time as discussed in open council. All in favor? Oh,
You-
I didn't know we had to do that for this one. So you're gonna be the mover there, Mr. Barry? Seconder, Myron? Carried.
All in favor?
Okay.
Oh, shit. It's not carried yet, all in favor?
She'll let
Need
you
to
know.
go.
Oh, we're not.
Gotta see the eyes on the thing.
She's
Gotta
got
light
some
up.
makeup on
The owl has to go, hoo hoo.
Come on, wakey wakey.
This is like waking up Jody.
I know, it's brutal.
Come on.
Oh, that's a great one to end on.
it. I'm still bending over, but I'm not.
Jody probably doesn't make yours.
Yeah.
Don't worry, all you guys do, give me that, guys.
Now waking
I
up.
haven't even started.
Can we just come out on paper?
Do you want me to come over there and read?
The mic, you've got sound.
We've got sound?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can you give her?
Mhm.
Just,
Oh.
did you, oh, no, okay.
Yeah, give her.
Okay.
Agenda item 15.2, out of camera. Be it hereby resolved, the council moves out of camera at 10:09, 8:50?
8:53.
Is that look right? 8:52? And resumes the regular meeting of council. Everybody agree?
Mover.
Oh, mover, yeah. Well, it'll be you anyway. Seconder?
All in favor?
They're in agreement.
All in favor? Carried.
There's a party going on out there. Seriously.
Outside, they're not in the lobby, are they?
I still got a couple left in.
Doors locked.
Oh, that's the end of the meeting.
Somebody's face is pressed up against the glass, I'm kidding.
We wouldn't know.
Are we done?
You
No,
have to
we
do
have
the
to get out of the
resolution,
meeting.
yeah, to adjourn.
Yeah, I didn't know if we're done. I thought.
Okay, I have to get out of the meeting.
Agenda item 16. Can I stop for a second? Take a
Yep.
break, 'cause it's dried up. Excuse me. Agenda item 16, adjournment. Be it hereby resolved that council adjourns the March 26, 2025 meeting at,
8:54.
thank you.
Mover.
Have I got to move? Have I got to move? Have I got a seconder?
All in favor?
I'm gonna get buried this time because he hasn't.